The Democratic Alliance in Tshwane is concerned about a double billing injustice that's affecting a lot of residents. I'm now joined by the Tshwane mayoral candidate for the DA and caucus leader for the DA in Tshwane, Celia Brink. The party ultimately saying that this is unfair on many residents, and there are thousands of bills that are plaguing the Tshwane residents currently. Just take us through this.
The issue is the city cleansing levy is intended for residents that don't use the city's weekly waste removal service. But now many residents, especially in complexes, people who live in townhouses, where the complex has a waste removal account with the city, the residents who live in these complexes now find they're being charged the 223 Rand extra as a city cleansing levy. Now that is double taxation. You would have thought before the city imposes a new tax, they would check their records and make sure that they don't double bill people. We've discovered this, and now the city has admitted the problem and has created certain channels in order to correct it. But it does go to show that very little preparation went into this. It was a rushed tax to plug the city's budget deficit.
What does this tell us about the current, perhaps, leadership in Tshwane if you're dealing with such an obvious error?
So when the city cleansing levy was initially proposed in the budget, the DA pointed out that it doesn't come with additional services to residents. So even though residents are paying more, there isn't money on the budget that increases spending on city cleansing. It's merely there to plug the deficit. And I think in the rush to make sure that the books balance, to get more money in, the city didn't properly consider the impact on already overburdened consumers.
What are you calling for?
We are calling for this levy to be suspended, for the mayor to go to the council to say, we admit that we've got a budget funding issue, we've got a budget funding plan, and we will assist the city to come up with solutions. But this city cleansing levy shouldn't fly. The city should, in fact, withdraw its defense of the case in the Supreme Court of Appeal.
We also understand that when it was proposed, there was a particular threshold of certain individuals who would not be charged and others that would be. Can you take us through those nitty-gritties?
Well, the issue is that the city cleansing levy is intended for residents that don't use the city's waste collection service. Now, that could include the townhouse residents, which I've mentioned, who use private operators, and it also includes people who've never had a Tshwane bin. So imagine, the city has never extended the service to somebody, and now suddenly they've got to pay 223 Rand a month. It is poorly conceived. There are better ways of achieving the objective which the city intends to achieve.
Has the DA, consulted with the rest of the parties, perhaps the mayor's office in Tshwane? You've just, talked about the fact that they're looking into this, but ultimately, how quickly can this be resolved? In particular, if you're talking about residents being overburdened financially and now facing double taxation, how fast must this be resolved?
Yes, so I raised the issue when I discovered on my own bill that I was being double billed. Our complex pays for waste collection, and then I was charged a levy. I raised the issue with the city manager, and then more and more residents approached DA councillors saying, we've got this issue. I think it can be resolved fairly quickly, as follows. You look at the address where a complex is, or where a property is, and you check, is there a waste removal account of the city connected to that address? And if there is, eliminate the city cleansing levy on all of the accounts related to that.
Those who have already paid, perhaps, should that money be reimbursed or perhaps credited to their accounts?
The city has made the commitment that those accounts will be credited. So that is a very, very important part of the solution.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, we'll hear exactly how the City of Tshwane plans to resolve this particular conundrum. And we also expect to get some response from the MMC from Environment, and that is Ubakeng Ramabodu. This is his portfolio. How exactly are they planning to deal with this particular issue? And what is the Tshwane Mayor, Dr. Nasipi Moya, saying when residents find themselves in such a difficult situation where, of course, many of them are already struggling and they have to pay more money for a service that's not even being rendered?